Hey everyone, it's Miss Amy, and I brought a special guest with me today. It's my big brother, Mr. Mac.
Hey everyone, I am so happy that Miss Amy invited me to her video today, and so I thought it would be fun to do a nature walk at the park. I really like trees, and I'd like to let you all know a little bit more about trees today.
That sounds fun. So I brought a butterfly net just in case we see a butterfly to catch, and I brought a magnifying glass and binoculars in case if we want to look up close at nature. So let's go.
All right, Miss Amy, so this is our first tree. Take a look at it, and what kind of tree do you think it is?
It looks like a pine tree.
Well, that's right. Now, why do you think it's a pine tree?
I see needles.
You see needles, but there's others trees with needles.
Sure.
So let me show you something about a pine tree needles. Okay? Now get your magnifying glass out.
And do you know what we use a magnifying glass for? That's one way.
So the pine tree needles are bundled together in groups of 2, 3, or 5. Now this tree, they're bundled in groups of 2. So take a look in the magnifying glass and you can see two needles.
Here, get 2 more.
See, there's 2 needles. All right, before we move on to our next tree, it's important to look at the bark. And you can see how this bark is rough and scaly. And also something that's really interesting is you can see some sap here. Now you never want to touch the sap because it's really sticky and it's really hard to clean off of your fingers because it's so sticky. All right, our next tree is also an evergreen tree, and I want to see if you can guess what type of tree this is. Now, look all the way up to the top and back down. What type of tree do you think it is?
Looks like a Christmas tree.
A Christmas tree, you're right. It does look like a Christmas tree, but it's called a fir tree. Now, trust me, I want you to touch the needles. See? The fir tree has soft needles. Oh, you could
Not
hug.
prickly.
You could hug this tree. Okay, let's move on. We're at our last evergreen tree for our tree walk today. What?
Mr. Mac,
Yes?
this looks like the other one.
Do you think it's the same tree? Type of tree?
Yeah, it looks like it.
Okay, touch the needles.
Ow! Ouch! It's prickly.
Yep, this is a spruce tree and it has prickly needles. So one more thing about trees is very often it can be helpful to look down to the ground and maybe you'll discover something like seeds or something about the tree. And so, oh, look at this. So this, what do you think this is?
Pine cone.
No, this is a spruce tree, so it's a spruce cone.
Spruce cone.
Now I happen to have in my hand a pine cone, so you can see the difference, spruce cone and pine cone. A spruce cone and a pine cone.
But I can't find my brother, Mr. Mac. So, and he's wow!
Hi everyone.
That's just like when we were growing up.
So I want you to look up there, and that is a group of, believe it or not, the name is a Kentucky coffee tree.
So, do these trees grow coffee beans?
Well, no, but that's a good question. The reason why it's called a Kentucky coffee tree is because the seed pods look like coffee beans. Now, this is a Kentucky coffee tree. It's not really a baby tree. Let's call it a teenager Kentucky coffee tree, okay? And I want you to look really close at the stem right here. Get your magnifying glass and look right here on the stem.
Ooh.
Now, why I showed you this is because sometimes when people think of a leaf, they just think of this little part here, but actually the leaf starts at the stem right here. So that means this whole thing is one leaf.
Wow.
That means this is the biggest leaf in the whole park.
Wow. Didn't know that.
All right, Miss Amy, take a look up. Look at this tree. This is a maple tree, a very common tree, and you might have one in your own yard. Here's what the maple leaf looks like, but there's a lot of different types of maple trees, and here's a leaf from a different maple tree.
Well, look what I found on the ground. It looks like a helicopter.
Actually, that's a maple seed.
Look, I found more.
Oh! So, Miss Amy, our park has a really nice pond, and on the other side of the pond is the tallest tree in the park. So look over there, it's a cottonwood tree.
This is one of my favorite trees, Mr. Mac.
Yeah, it's popular around ponds. Do you know what it is? The weeping willow.
Thanks, Mr. Mac, for being my guest today and for being such an awesome big brother. I learned more about trees and hope you all had a tremendous fun time today too.
Tree you later.